is not a test. This is rock and roll.
I wake up every morning in a bed that's too small, drive my daughter to a school that's too expensive, and then I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.
You're waking up with the Morning App on 90.5 WASU.
Good morning and welcome in to this last edition of the Morning App for this semester, and for myself and for Brandon as well. Hi, Brandon. This is our this is our last show ever here on the Morning App. Also, this is the last day of shifts for the station for the semester. So yeah, this is most likely actually the last time I will be on air for WASU.
Oh no!
I just want to say your voice will be missed.
Will it? Okay.
Heartbreak.
Thanks. Yeah. So anyway, but we got the usual crew: myself, Kristen, Josh, Brandon. Plus, a guest here this morning, Ethan Dodson. He is the Director of Leadership Gifts and Board Development here at App State, and he is on the show this morning because we are talking about IBAC App Day, which is tomorrow, right, Ethan?
That's right.
And so for those people out there who necessarily don't know what IBAC App Day is, or for instance, when you first mentioned it to me, I confused it mistakenly with I Heart App Day. So
which is today.
Yeah, which is today. So, differences here and anything like that.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
A bit of a difference. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get smart. Last day for emotional day for you guys. No, but basically, IBAC App Day. It is tomorrow. It's on May the 4th, and
May the 4th be with you.
Thank you. Absolutely, we need it.
That's the more important day.
Exactly. Yeah. No, so it's a 24-hour fundraising period to raise money for the Appalachian Fund, and really this is it's a bit of an all eggs in one basket type of scenario that we really execute to generate pride in Appalachian, to really spread a lot of Appalachian feelings and thoughts and love through social media using the hashtag IBACApp, and to try and get people to donate to the Appalachian Fund. Of course, that's obviously the most important thing and what we're emphasizing. But and really, that's a gift of any size. It's the number of donors that we're really shooting for, and we anticipate getting about 2,000 people to give tomorrow. So it's going to be a big day.
Yeah, and before the show started, I was mentioned to you when I was reading the information for the day tomorrow that only 7% of Appalachians, over 120,000 alumni, give back annually. So how is it that we can influence that to make sure that that occurs more often?
Sure, it's we need people to get into a habit of giving every single year, which is it's what makes this day so important. And yes, that's not a very fun statistic, and it's a really nice day. I wish you hadn't brought that up, but that's okay. I can address it. So no, it's really a lot of that is because of just graduating seniors. I mean, every year we're graduating thousands and thousands of new alumni and young alumni specifically. And I was once a young alumni. I think I might still technically be a young alumni. We traditionally move every 6 months to 2 years. So keeping track of addresses and just being in touch with people is becoming more and more difficult. Our call center, which is we have a really tremendous student staff that calls alumni to try and raise funds, that still has its place, but more and more people are cutting landlines. So that's a tricky thing. So really, in my opinion, I think that IBAC App Day, this one 24-hour catch-all period, it's a really unique solution to try and get new information and get accurate records and updates from alumni because it's a fun way to participate. So this is it's done a lot to kind of raise that 7% number, and it's been successful.
Yeah, I think, and it's important to also, you said it earlier, but gifts of any size. So for instance, I myself will be a young alumni here in a few weeks, and obviously I'm not going to have a lot of money to financially give back to the university. However, I would like to in the next few years, and obviously it doesn't have to be this overwhelming sum of money. Every little bit counts, correct?
Absolutely. And I think back to the first time I made a gift. My first year out of school, and I was called actually, and I gave $20. And
oh, nice.
It's a lot of money to us.
It's way better than what I have.
Yeah, well, and that's okay. I mean, I think I've been graduated let's see, I graduated in May, and I got called in January. So hopefully, I mean, imagine yourselves 8 months from now, where are you going to be? I mean, you might
Hopefully.
have that $5 gift might go to $20, and we would appreciate any
Still
amount.
$20
again.
out of mom's purse. You know?
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Do what you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, but definitely every little bit counts. And so, in regards to tomorrow, how if someone wanted to give, how does that work?
If someone wants to really just to make a gift or really kind of follow our progress throughout the day, simply go to ibackapp.appstate.edu. That is our catch-all site. Everything is there. My wonderful colleague, Chad Leader, put that whole thing together. We have a tag board for anyone that's using iBackApp as a hashtag. Our tag board is going to catch a lot of photos and social media posts and shares and things like that. You can make a gift on that site. You can follow our progress. And for those people we have a group of volunteers who have signed up as champions. And our champions is really our grassroots group, and we have over 300 people that have made a commitment to reach out to 5 of their friends, family, just people in their personal network to ask them to make a gift as well. And we have a lot of students that actually signed up this year, and I'm really, really grateful for their help. We have sample scripts and sample text message scripts that people can use and just copy and paste just to reach out. Our giving form is really simple. It's very easy. I really think that someone could make a gift in under 60 to 90 seconds. It's a very quick transaction. So that's ibackapp.appstate.edu. That's the best way to go.
And tomorrow you will be predominantly hanging out in the McKeskey Center, or
the McKinney Alumni Center.
Or sorry, that's what I meant.
Where's the McKeskey Center?
That's in the student union.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry, I got my got my M's confused. But so that is where the McKinney Alumni Center will be, where you are predominantly.
Yes,
hanging out.
that's where we'll be for the most part, keeping track of everything. One kind of fun thing that we have on that site is whenever a transaction happens and someone makes a gift, we're going to have a little icon that's over the corresponding street address. So literally, your street address, you can see. Whenever you make a gift, that's going to pop up there and populate, which is kind of a fun thing to do. So you can actually keep track of your neighbors if you ask any of them, or any of your other students. You can look over Bowie Hall, Justice Hall, see how many.
To kind of further that, you said the grassroots movement kind of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we don't want peer pressure or anything, but for people to kind of like monitor.
No, we want that.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you and Justice, did you make this? Did you make this?
Right. So you all, and Travis, I think we kind of have the relationship. Yes, I'll check in. I know you live in Vilas now, so I'm going to check and see like how many donors from Vilas do we have, and thank you, Travis. So.
Yeah,
He knows where you live.
Yeah,
He'll be coming to your door.
And I could almost see it being somewhat of a competitive thing, which
Oh,
Josh,
yeah.
you're all about anything
Yeah.
competitive. So I don't know if that'll
I mean,
influence you at all.
I'm not gonna lie. When he said champion, I'm like, wow, I want to be a champion.
Yeah, I want to be a champion. I want to win.
That requires me giving money, so I have to pay to be a champion.
But you know,
But,
You're not paying
do
to
what
be
you
a
do to
champion.
be-
Well,
You're donating
You're right.
to a school
You're
that you
right.
love to
You're
be a
right.
champion. It's
I want to be a
different.
winner.
yeah, you already are a winner in our
Sometimes,
eyes,
yeah.
Josh.
Well, I
But,
mean, just being my last morning show and just being like a last farewell to WASU, I think it's really important to give back to Appalachian State because of the opportunities that they've given me, not only in broadcasting, but just in general, to go to a great college like this. And this is just a really fun way to use a hashtag and get involved in social media, even to get involved and donate. I think it's a brilliant idea that we have this one day where we have a catch-all type of movement.
Yeah, and our major here, as far as broadcasting goes, we moved to the Beasley Media Complex. For those of you who are familiar with where we are located, we're across the road from the SRC, and we were in
Way Hall.
Yeah. Which wasn't very well suited
That was
for.
great.
I mean, it was nice to have a facility, period, but
Right.
it wasn't nearly as well suited as the Beasley Center is over here, and that kind of thing doesn't happen, Ethan, without the generous donations of alumni or friends of the university.
Yeah, absolutely. I have this. One of my favorite things to do is every now and then I'll work with some students and we just talk about philanthropy in general. And it's, I mean, if you think about it, it's a strange thing to give away money. It's a very Western thing, and you don't get anything for it, and that's what philanthropy is. And I love it for that very reason. I do think, I mean, what you get is very intangible. I mean, the feelings, the catharsis from making a gift and giving away something is really incredible. George Beasley did this university an immense service, and he's given lots and lots of resources beyond just the funds for this building. But I always like to talk those students through other areas of campus that were named for people. You know, the Hayes School of Music, the Walker College of Business, Race Dining Hall was named for our current chair of our Board of Trustees, Alice Race, with really generous commitments that she's made. So there's lots of evidence all around campus of private support really making a huge difference.
So definitely, if you were out there and you were on the fence about giving back to the university, I definitely think it's a worthy cause, guys. And it's like we were saying, even us as students, without those donations, we can't have some of those same opportunities. So Ethan, you gonna hang out with us a little while?
Yes, I'd like to. Do I have time for one question?
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna ask you guys, like, if you had $1 million that you had to give away to Appalachian, what would you do with it? Would you
man.
do something? Because we have this nice radio studio. Would you do something else?
I mean,
that's a good question.
I would.
I don't want to give it away.
No, I think something with broadcasting, maybe help the guys for basketball games, because of where they're located right now isn't the nicest thing. Maybe build something. I don't know.
That would be more of a word. I think as far as like money goes and where I would use that, I would probably kind of kickstart somewhat of a film program.
Ooh.
Like outside of like film studies or anything. Maybe start working on a sound stage, but that's a lot of money.
See, it's easy to say that I would want to send it to the broadcasting department, obviously, because we have like our piece of our heart is here. But I would probably try to have it go towards like the outdoor development, so like the Durham Park that we have and the Duck Pond Field, and like making those sustainable and making campus all around. Probably put it with the sustainability, because I'm really behind that.
Duck Pond is very sustainable.
Well, yes, but like we have like awesome outdoor facilities that, and I think that's
and
great.
That's areas
more.
that everyone could use.
Yeah, community
Josh?
spaces.
You can definitely, I'd probably update some of the buildings. I know students complain about how old they are, and run down maybe some of the dorms, but also I'd like to, help the rec centers and everything, just because I'm there a lot, and whatever they need, I enjoy them.
I have a specific vested interest in the rec center.
Can I donate my $1 million to that project that they're doing for Sanford Mall? Because I really want to see that project for Sanford Mall. Have you seen the
I actually don't know what you're talking about.
The plans, there's like this huge, like, by 2030, I think, or 2025 is when they have this huge idea for Sanford Mall. They're just remaking Sanford Mall and making
exciting.
it
it's like a part of the master plan.
Yeah, the master plan. I would like to donate my $1 million to the master plan, because I really want to see the master plan out.
We really appreciate that. That means a lot. So no, it's a fun thing to think about, though, and it throws you for a loop, and sometimes it takes time to think through. Man, what would I do? And that's and you can get started tomorrow. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, you heard the man. If you are planning on donating tomorrow, then please do so. May the 4th. IBAC App Day, and that'll be going on all day. And even if you can't make it out, you can definitely still make a donation. Keep listening to the Morning App. We will be back right after this. Come on and feel the noise. Quiet Riot.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU. 8:17 on this lovely Wednesday morning, and right now we are talking all things college. Granted, we're a college morning show, so of course we have the in, but two of you are graduating.
Yeah.
You guys are going to be alumni.
We are.
Isn't that crazy?
It doesn't feel all that crazy just because, not that I haven't loved my time here at Appalachian, but it's been somewhat of a long 4 years, particularly this last semester, just knowing that I was graduating. It's been a long time coming.
But
I feel
great 4 years.
But a great time. Brandon, how do you feel?
Don't jump the gun. They might not graduate.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, this is really scary, actually.
Yeah, Dr. Spiceland, if you're listening. No, I'm just kidding.
My PE, actually, if you're listening.
Your PE is going to hold you back.
And I
The
apparently
absences,
didn't
right?
finish
The
my last
absences
bonus
are getting
module.
you.
Finish your wellness modules out there.
All right.
Finish them.
All right. So I don't think PE is going to be what jumps up and bites you. But no, we're talking about 10 reasons why that you shouldn't freak out if you're graduating and you don't already have a job, because that's the question
the majority of kids.
that I get 90% of the time in this last semester here is that, well, you're graduating, son, do you already have something lined up?
Got my mom's place.
And that's the general public, asking me that. And honestly, sometimes I feel like that's kind of somewhat of an invasive question.
I understand
I'm like,
that.
Is it? I don't know. Like, maybe it's just because it's a touchy subject right now for me because, the fact that I didn't necessarily have anything like hard lined up kind of thing. So I would be probably all over that if I did.
Put a little wall up.
But yeah.
I met someone on the street yesterday, and they were like, what, that sounded, yeah, but anyway, they were like,
talking to street people, Brandon.
Yeah, they were like, what year are you? And I was like, I'm a senior about to graduate. They're like, yeah, do you have a job? I'm like, oh,
I'm living on the street. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm trying, I'm trying my best over here, son.
Yeah,
I guess it is kind of an invasive question, but I feel like people just try to connect with you, so that's why.
More so, they should just say, what are your plans after graduation? Yeah. Oh, not a job? That's okay too.
Yeah. But anyway, so kind of jumping into some of this and some of the advice it gives, and Ethan, you're more than welcome to weigh in here too, as someone who has already went through this. But the first thing that you have to kind of consider that right now, directly after graduation. Hopefully you're in a scenario where, if you can't find anything right after you graduate, you're probably in the best living situation you'll have for a long while, because it's still very easy for you to, frankly, hang out with your folks for a few months.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay any rent.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Now, obviously, moving all your stuff back there, and then hopefully when you do get a job 2 months later, moving again, there's a lot of moving involved there. But, if this was another period in your life, you're not going to have that luxury of just, crashing with your folks for a few months while, or at least you wouldn't want to have that option. So you're not going to have to pay rent, and you can completely dedicate yourself to finding a job at that point.
Yeah, make finding a job your job. Spend 40 hours a week job hunting, applying, beefing up your resume, cover letters, all that jazz.
Yeah, put on there skydiving. You're a skydiving expert.
Useful things. Yes, completely.
Yeah. Swordsman, skilled swordsman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you put in the skills section of your resume?
Of course, that's how I got the sports director job. Man, I put so many professional athletes for like 2 years before I retired.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, you always talk about how that you're a semi-professional tennis player and what's the other thing?
Billiards.
Billiards. Yeah.
Well, I actually am an amateur billiards player, but in Raleigh. I was applying for city jobs, and I've jokingly applied to be a tennis instructor. I clicked the box saying that I am a ranking of 3.5 or higher. So,
Josh, do you play tennis?
I do, but I doubt I'm a ranking of 3.5 or higher. So,
yeah, I don't know what it takes to acquire such a ranking. So.
But I don't know if the listeners remember back in the year, but Josh also helped build the Egyptian pyramids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you put that on your resume, too,
right? Of course, yeah.
Amy, semi-professional tennis player, and you built the pyramids. But so other things, that actually can be positives when you're not graduating with a job, or when you are graduating without a job, that is. You can become somewhat of a temporary couch potato just because a lot of the, job searching, unless you're cold, calling / knocking on people's doors, most of those job listings are frankly online.
Right.
You know, is emailing folks. You can do more now more than ever. You can do a lot of that kind of networking, not in person. Even though in my personal opinion, it's more effective in person.
Right.
And we've already mentioned that you can definitely have time specifically for serious job hunting. If say you did have something lined up right after school, but maybe that's not what you want to do long term, you're never going to have as much time to only focus on job hunting as you do right after school when you are unemployed and don't have anything else to occupy your time with, because that is your job, to find a job. So, and then other things. Your other activities in life is still just as important. So, for instance, like Josh, fitness seems to be very important to you. So, that would still be time that you had to focus on that as well. Because
more time,
more time. To further better yourself in other ways too.
Well, Ethan, I was gonna ask, is it now more than ever that everything is going online? Because when I go and apply for somewhere, I would walk in and they'd be like, "Oh, well, all you gotta do is go and apply online." So when you were coming out of school, was everything online then?
Yeah, for the most part, and it's kind of funny because actually, when I applied to college, I filled out a paper application, and when I registered for classes for the first time, actually the first 2 semesters, I filled out a paper application. Now that was I know exactly that. Like
he's not that old. Let's calm down.
Yeah. No, but everything switched in 2002 is when we so it's not that long ago. I mean that was a while ago, but it was even a tiny bit more a while ago that I was in college, but or freshman. When I was looking for jobs, everything by that point was online, and really LinkedIn was kind of getting really like beefed up when in that 2003, 4, 5 period, and it's funny when I think back, that was kind of a switch that was flipped for me. It was LinkedIn, it's so buttoned up and it's so serious, and that was when I thought, wow, there's a lot of really serious people out there, and they're all working really hard, and I guess I need to do that too, or start at least pretending towards the latter part of undergrad, and it's true actually. So
start being serious right now. Brandon, I'm looking at you.
Think like a pro.
Our fearless leader, Dan Valley, his favorite thing to say is it's never too early to start acting like a professional.
True.
And we hear that a lot, but there's definitely truth in those
so
words.
much truth in there.
Yeah, and the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention that was off of that article as well that I actually think might be decent advice is that you can really kind of find out, not that you shouldn't have been doing this throughout your entire college career, but you have time to reflect on exactly what it is you want to do.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people that graduate and they still don't really know what they want to do. And for instance, myself, I have a good idea of the kind of work I want to be doing, but I don't necessarily know sometimes how that translates into a job that pays me actual money.
Right.
So, that's time that you can have to kind of further think about, okay, well, I have these skills. How does this translate?
It's also interesting too, because pretty much not almost every professional I talk to, but most professionals, especially some people around this building, they graduate with a degree where they're for a different field than what they're working in now. So I think that it really honestly, it comes from experience, what you have passion for, that'll show through. So technically we're graduating with a communications degree, but technically we're specialized in broadcast or specialized in production. And so you can specialize in all these things, but at the end of the day, it's this degree and you can do a lot with that. And your passion and experience probably shows through more than your degree.
Yeah. And it's not all, terrible. Frankly.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people are down this time of the year, even though they're graduating. But there's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel, Brandon.
Well,
yeah, there is.
Yeah, and when we come back, we've got mine and Brandon's morning shower thoughts.
It's gonna be a great one.
But here's Back in Black, ACDC. You're listening to the Morning App.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU.
8:34 on this wonderful Wednesday.
You had to get it in, didn't you?
He had
The last
to.
one.
You
Last one.
You had to.
And Travis, this is your last ever raised weather forecast.
I know, and I am going to enjoy this thoroughly.
He's choking back the tears.
I can't say words because of the tears. But today, it's really fitting. You know, that's the last raised weather forecast because today is going to be a gorgeous day in the neighborhood. Going to have a high right around 70 degrees.
Yeah.
A low right around 50 degrees.
Yeah.
And guess what, Brandon?
5 golf balls.
Well, 4, but almost 5. Almost 5 golf balls. And
I think it's a little too cold for that.
Yeah, maybe just a shade too cold for that 5th golf ball today. But it's going to be a beautiful day, so get out there and enjoy it because tomorrow, Thursday, and then the next few days don't look like they're going to be quite as awesome.
Just let me guess the golf balls. 1 and 2. No, 1 is okay. 2
in the
and
next
3.
in the next
2
few.
and 3.
Yeah, it's 1 and 2. You're right.
Oh, it is.
Ooh.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's your weather for today, brought to you by RaiseWeather.com.
Well, do you know what time it is?
Do you?
It's time for the morning shower. And Brandon, while I was calling you from my shower this morning, you know what I was thinking about?
What were you thinking about, Josh?
When dog food is new and improved tasting, who actually tasted it?
Probably dogs.
But then how do you
Are they going to
know
weigh
it's
in?
new and
Are
improved?
they weighing in on that?
This is a
That's my
very,
question, yeah.
This is a very good question because are we talking about the canned dog food or like the actual?
Well, regardless.
I think
Listen,
it's both. How
this
do you
is-
find out which is new and which is better?
very, very simple. It's right in front of your faces, guys. The dogs taste test it, and then they have a wagometer that reads how high the dog is wagging his tail and how good it tastes.
I forgot about the wagometer.
I don't
Yeah.
think dogs actually wag their tails while they're eating.
My dog always
Well,
does.
here's the thing with dogs, and anyone with a dog will know this. So a dog is going to eat as much food as you put in front of it.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
dog will get sick if you just keep feeding a dog, or at least most dogs. You know, they're not going to tell themselves to stop. So whether that's slop that you got from the restaurant leftovers or the most expensive dog food, they're going to eat that just the same.
I agree, but then how do you know it's new and improved? It might be just as
Well, that's what
as
I'm
the last
saying.
one.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So you can't even really tell
The
based off of the dog's enjoyment of the food either.
So what you're telling me is
I'm telling you that
they're
most
liars.
dog
I'm getting
food companies are
lied to.
liars. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I always
Mm-hmm.
love the commercials that are like it's made with like salmon, beef, and
Organic.
buffalo bison.
Well,
and
see,
I'm
that's
like,
the thing,
yes.
because it's for your dog, but they're marketing to you, obviously, because you're the person
I mean,
who's
they
actually
get
gonna-
me.
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
If you're slightly granola, you're gonna feed your dog organic granola stuff. It's just how it goes. Your dog looks like you and eats like you.
Yeah,
That's
for
how
instance,
it works.
that what is it called? Blue Buffalo.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
When I watch those commercials, I want to eat that. Like that's
I
how
do.
that's how good of a job that they do for making it
They tell me there's
appear
no
appealing
like fillers,
to
like
me.
corn in it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I'm like, I
Yeah.
love that.
I was like,
I'm
there was probably fillers in what I had last night. My dog isn't going to eat better than me. I want to eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
There's actually more expensive dog food than just Blue Buffalo. Also, there are higher levels.
Oh,
to
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And that's what we feed our dogs. It's really expensive. I just
look
think
at
of,
Ethan over
wow,
there.
how much
Yeah.
coffee could I get,
Yeah.
or food for myself
right?
for the $50 to $100 I'm spending a month on
could-
our 2 dogs.
You could eat
Oh, wow.
well at like a very nice restaurant,
I
a
agree.
couple times a month.
Yeah, and I don't because of it.
Yeah.
I debated getting a dog in college or at least bringing my home dog from my parents' dog back up here with me. And my dad was like, well, how are you going to feed it? You don't have money for dog food because it's expensive. I said, she can eat the crust off my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah. That'll be
and
filling.
That'll hold her.
Yeah, it's a college diet for my college
Well,
dog.
I know any dogs that I've ever owned, or pets, that is, generally, they get very fat very fast at my home. So honestly, say having my cat come spend some time with me at my place where I literally keep no food. It's more or less just ketchup in my refrigerator.
Yep.
That would actually be a good thing for my cat, I think. But Josh, Brandon, what is our next shower thought?
This one's a little bit morbid, but I think it's worth asking. why do they sterilize needles for lethal injections?
Doesn't make any sense if you think about it.
It really doesn't.
I guess they want to make.
How do you know that they do?
On the
they
off
do.
chance.
No, they do. They do
What?
it in front of you. Like they.
I guess they want the criminal to be as comfortable as possible before he actually dies. But like, why?
On the off chance maybe that it didn't work or something, like you wouldn't want them to.
Well, then that's
You know,
just you
Kill
screwing
over
up.
from like
Technically.
staph
Honestly,
infection.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
probably like forensic procedure. So like, you know, if cops don't present evidence properly, it's not going to be it's not going to be legal, so it's probably
I will
within the
say it
legality.
does seem like a waste of
procedures.
time,
Yeah.
though.
I'm worried about this infection.
Considering the situation. But yeah, you're right, Brandon. That's definitely probably the darkest thing that we've talked about on the show.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
Hey, it's a legitimate question. We gotta ask it.
This one's better.
Okay.
Why is it that doctors call what they do a practice?
This is somewhat the low-hanging fruit. This one gets talked about a lot, but
It does?
It still holds true, though.
Oh, I've never
Yeah.
thought of it.
I
It still
think-
holds true. I mean, it's
But with my dad actually being a doctor, I think it's called a practice because doctors really never know what they're doing. They are honestly just throwing medicine and stuff at you and hoping that it works.
Yeah.
So they are, in a term, practicing. They really don't know. When something backfires, like, can't believe that didn't work. Let's try this drug.
you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Figuring out things here at the radio station.
Oh, yeah.
Because oftentimes, as for instance, like this year managing, oftentimes you're just throwing darts in the dark, and you're just hoping something sticks because you don't know. Because it's not like I know everything about possibly what might have been the problem, so I could see where.
My dad just throws pills at the problem, and if it doesn't work, your face swells up. He's like, let's try this one.
Were you allergic to that? Okay, well, I guess you are now. So
Quite possibly.
Well,
now we know.
Travis, you remember the fiasco in the practice studio where it wasn't working, like the mics weren't working?
Yeah.
And I was just like, Travis, did you do that? Have you tried that yet? And then Rob came in and I was like, have you guys clicked that button yet? Like just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah, I mean that's it. Really is. It's just whatever works, and you got to figure that out. It's sometimes not a very hard science as to even though it should be because it's electronics. Maybe I'm just bad at it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
I do think doctors try and stay away from the word practice because they don't like to scare their patients, but we know.
And now back to your favorite morning talk show, The Morning App, on 90.5 WASU.
8:48 on this wild Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Because you know why? We're going off script. We're not talking relationships anymore.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
quite frankly, I'm
we
tired.
balled it up
I'm tired of talking relationships.
after
Part of failing in my
after the
relationship.
last
Here
segment.
we go.
Yeah, this is our last, or at least mine and Brandon's swan song here. So we're talking instead of relationships like we usually do, we're talking our favorite moments while we've been at Appalachian. Brandon, I've had several moments that have stood out to me. But
Are they with me?
Some are. Some are. In fact, I'll tell you one right now. The very first game that I was color for, you were sidelines for WASU,
That was nice.
we lost, but we gave it the college try, and I thought the broadcast went well. So that was one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, well, actually, one of my favorite moments is you and Greg,
Mm-hmm.
and then me and Zach Hawkins all took the class together at the same time 4 years ago.
We did.
And we, especially Travis, you and Greg, and me, we've stuck through it, and I'm really glad that we have our friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
That's probably one of my favorite moments is the fact that there's 2 or 3 other guys who did radio for 4 years with me. Because a lot of people don't do that.
Because we took it the
Aw.
first semester of our freshman year. So.
Oh, that's so cool, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people
Wow.
here, if you didn't know, a lot of people here actually don't do it all 4 years
Yeah.
or start their first semester. But
Yeah.
I think
I
it's pretty
did.
cool that we did.
Yeah.
Well,
Josh
see,
is another one that's kind of like that.
it was hard to know about because you have to take a class in order to be on the air, and I wasn't aware that class existed.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's awesome that you guys started first semester freshman year.
Yeah,
And
and
now we're
that's
here.
that's usually a tool that we usually try to use. For people, if you're out there, watching the Facebook live stream or listening, and you somewhat think that you might wanted to get involved. I mean, I started getting involved here simply because I thought it would be a good opportunity to make some quick friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
obviously,
it is, yeah.
and it was, and obviously, I was going to be a broadcasting student anyway. It was something I wanted to do, but that's definitely something I always tell people. Is like, hey, it's also this good tool to meet all these other people that you didn't already know.
Mm-hmm.
So I would agree. I definitely feel that making those friendships when we did Brandon was one of my best moments.
Yeah, and we talked about McAdoo's actually before we came back on. And, shout out to my sophomore year RA Robbie Alvis.
Okay.
Yeah, we had an entire floor go to McAdoo's and have a floor dinner
That's cute.
at McAdoo's. And
My floor tops that.
what's your floor do?
We had a cop had to come talk to us because we were misbehaving. So our entire
Yeah,
floor
if
had
you-
a nice little
if you remember-
hour-long lecture.
If you remember the incident that occurred at Eggers
Multiple
last
incidents.
year,
That was us.
That was Josh.
Yeah.
Specifically, only Josh.
I'm pretty sure we're the floor that caused it to become an all-girl dorm because they
Mhm.
were fed up with how the guys were treating eggers.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
rough.
having lived there as a freshman, you know what? Maybe I'm just too old and cranky. Even as a 17-year-old, when I started college, I think I was too old and cranky to live in a dorm situation.
Yeah, you
Because
were.
it was 2 in, and people were out there playing like
FIFA.
playing hockey
Oh.
in the hallway, and I'm just like, guys,
I did that.
yeah, I'm sure you did, but it wasn't for me.
My
So
freshman year in Dalton, we were playing football in the hallway, and I got like hip checked or tackled into the water fountain, and almost broke it.
well, playing
It
playing
was
football in the
nice.
hallway.
I loved it.
Playing football in the hallway in dorms, you don't have anywhere to go. So
You either
Yeah.
go through
It's a
'em-
straight shot.
yeah,
You either go through them
or you get ran over. Like
get
there's
ran over.
there's no other third option there. But some of my other talking about my favorite moments. Gosh, definitely a lot of things. I really enjoyed, and not to be, I guess, lingering on sports. We were talking about sports as when we were off the air about that being some of our best moments. But I've really enjoyed attending the away football games And we were talking about the Tennessee game and the game at Athens next year, but that really, supporting my university somewhere else, I really enjoyed that, and particularly last year at Tennessee, that was a close game. But that was a good opportunity, to road trip with people I was already friends with,
Right.
and support my university somewhere else. So.
And to wrap up this sports theme, I really,
Oh my goodness.
really enjoyed calling my last game on WASU in terms of football as a color man and getting to call Marcus Cox's record-breaking run.
Yeah.
For that touchdown, that was
and,
one of my top moments in my entire life.
Yeah, and
WASU provided me that.
If you're listening, and you just so happen to be involved with a front office somewhere in the NFL, our boy Marcus Cox, he's still out there. You can still sign him.
He is still out there.
Yeah, he finished with how many yards? Over 5,000 for his career.
Yeah,
over 5,000 for his career. No big deal.
Give the man a chance.
Averaged what, about 5.5 a carry, something like that, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because NFL GMs are listening right now.
I'm just saying.
They should be.
On the off chance that they were, Jerry, if you're down there in Charlotte somewhere, I'm telling you, Marcus Cox.
Also, sleeping in the green room.
I mean, living in the green room.
If so the green room is this room off to the left or to the right of our studio, and it's where a place for us to just kind of hang out. But Brandon has definitely somewhat made that his second
always
home.
Sleeping in there. Always.
You got a cot in the corner.
But in fairness to Brandon, it's definitely always easier to crash in there than it is, particularly since we all have class in this building.
Right.
It's easier to crash in there than it is to go back to your place. But
I live like 3 minutes away.
It's actually
I was gonna not mention that, so you sounded better. But
honestly, it's very comfortable in there. I don't have cable at home, so being able to watch TV in that green room is fantastic.
I think that there's a lot of great moments that come from 4 years in college, but specifically going to App State, you get a lot more opportunities here than I think normal colleges do, like AKA living right outside of the Parkway, being 10 minutes from any hike. I think that's probably something I definitely banked in on my at least 3 years here.
That. I'm going to miss that, not because I grew up in the area.
Yeah.
I grew up in if I haven't already mentioned this on the show before, I grew up in Ashe County in West Jefferson. So Boone was always kind of like a second home to me anyway, and then I came to school over here. So I've had that my whole life. So that's going to be somewhat of a culture change wherever I move, because there isn't many places like that, particularly on the East Coast. So.
Well, and Ethan, I was going to say, is there still some memories you have from App? So long ago.
Yeah.
Brandon.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's actually a great segue, because I was thinking probably my best moments have come off campus as well. I studied abroad in London. I ran cross country and track here, so I ran on trails for hours and hours and hours at all seasons, and those are really vivid, powerful memories. I know you want to stay away from relationships, so sorry to bring this up. I did meet my wife here, but also we really got to know each other driving around the county. And just exploring and things like that. And so that's really what probably stands out in my mind.
As Kristen drops her headset, but that was a touching moment there for me. We ruined it.
So there is hope for us.
Well, I would say that we love relationships that end up in like marriages like that. It's the relationships that we talk about Tinder all the time. We don't like talking about Tinder all the time. But
we usually don't get to those touching moments. It's usually something entirely different.
That's because
fantastic.
all we know is
we
Tinder.
don't have any touching moments. Relationship-wise.
I would say the nature, like Kristen was saying, and even you, like the nature of just
the area.
This area is
like
gorgeous.
being able to run on trails like that and just run everywhere, or being able to go to the Parkway on a 4 or 5 golf ball day because you just didn't want to go to class.
Yeah.
We can't do that anymore.
Not that we support not going to class.
No, we should go. For you.
But if you were to get sick and then all of a sudden feel so much better, the Parkway is always an option. So, yeah. Let's see. Other memories I have. There's a lot. Because you stay somewhere 4 years or 4.5 years. I also stayed every single summer because home was close enough for me to do that. And some of my best moments, if you haven't stayed in town over the summer,
everyone says this.
I definitely think it's worth it, just because no matter where it is that you're from, first of all, Boone takes on a different feel. When the majority of students aren't around, you can definitely get around much easier,
faster.
And faster. But I've really enjoyed just spending my summers around town and more or less just kind of hanging out. Honestly,
and if you like the Parkway and hiking and
the
stuff like
waterfalls,
the waterfalls
in the summer,
the weather in the summer. My grandparents live up here, so I've been coming up here since I was 4 or 5 years old every single summer. The weather in Boone during the summer is why you go to school here when it's negative 20 degrees outside, is because if you stay during the summer, it's one of the most beautiful places on
Better than LA weather. And I've been to LA, and it's, people brag, they're like, oh, it's 75 degrees here all the time. Boone has you beat LA. Do you hear that? Boone has you beat. It's so gorgeous.
Because people in LA are listening,
Yeah, totally. But
the
waterfall spots are the places to be in the summertime. And Trash Can Falls specifically, one of my favorites.
Trash Can Falls is always a great one.
It's not like actual trash cans for anyone.
Travis and Brandon, I was just going to offer really quickly, as you're recapping all these great memories, I encourage you to think about memories you're going to make as joining the alumni ranks. Homecomings are a lot of fun. Those have become just really, really fun memories since graduating, because we all get back together, a couple of different friend groups, and it's every fall. It's usually a beautiful weekend. So look forward to those too. You guys got a lot of memories ahead of you.
I can't wait for homecoming.
As someone who grew up long before I actually came to school here, being at football games and stuff like that, I definitely plan as early as our first game of next season coming back around. So Brandon,
road trip?
Yeah. Keep your phone on because I very well might give you and the rest of our WASU crew a ring. Sorry, Josh, you're not included.
You'll just find him here in the green room.
Sleeping.
Right.
He's not leaving.
You're right. He'll be here in the green room.
Funny.
Yeah, but
please give me a job. Is all I'm saying. Please.
But that does it for the morning app for mine and Brandon's very last time, and Kristen and Josh, they'll be taking over next semester, and that does it for the morning app. Thanks for listening.
Hump day.